As we've said, as we get towards the end of the regular season here, every game is important. So let's go back and recap what happened last week, starting with last Wednesday. Home games against Upper Iowa. You end up getting both wins in that one, a 2-0 win and an 8-1 win. Talk about how your team played in those games.
Yeah, the Wednesday's doubleheader, that was a pretty good game. Upper Iowa is one of those teams that we always seem to have good battles with them, whether it's at our place or their place. But Bailey Banazinski and then Justin Furpo with the two starting pitchers did a great job. Bailey threw the complete game, seven innings, gave up only 3 hits. And then our guys, we picked up 2 runs when we needed them at crucial times and got the lead and basically were able to hold on with that. And then the second game, Justin Furpo, 6 innings, and then we went with our 3-headed closer with Mitch Miller, Peter Tviti, and then Nick Carroll, and we're able to shut them down and get the 8-1 win. So played pretty good baseball. I think we won air on that day, and that was an iffy air. And so it was just good baseball that it was a good doubleheader sweep for us.
Talk about your closer situation there. You said you're a 3-headed closer. Is that by design that you have that 3-player rotation to get to the end, or does it just kind of happen that way?
Well, yes and no. Really, with Peter and Nick Carroll, those are our 2 guys that we know we're going to use late in the game. And then Mitch Miller, another freshman, has stepped in there. But we've used Mitch in long relief. We've used him in the short relief, depending where we've used. It's basically we're looking at who pitched the most recently. Are they good to go? We've had a couple other guys, Jacob Hipsch and Nathan Santos, has stepped up a little and been able to get us some innings in the middle and stuff, and have been good for us. So, but between Mitch, if they're fresh, between Mitch, Pete, and Nick, we know we're in a pretty good situation.
Okay. In game 2 of the series against Upper Iowa, you had Austin Savory hit a home run, hit the press box in Maxwell Field. We haven't really talked a whole lot about him. Every once in a while we mention him, but I wanted to bring him up because not only is he a threat at the plate, but he's a pretty good pitcher too. And so, you don't necessarily always have that double threat, but with Austin you do.
Yeah, we've had a few guys over the years that have done that, but he's the most recent one. He's the first baseman by trade, but we have Sam Conley there, and they know so. If Austin's not pitching, he'll DH, and then sometimes we give Sam a break, so then he'll play first and Sam will DH. But he's a guy that he's been a pitcher in our rotation for the last several years as a lefty. Does a great job, throws strikes, keep hitters off balance, can mix up about 3 different pitches. And then he gives us a good bat off the bench. He had a home run at that against Upper Iowa. He hit one this weekend at Augie. He's got potential to do that, but he's just a good all-around ball player, and he knows the game, and he does a good job, whether he's pitching or if he's just hitting.
And then I don't want to get too far into the weeds with that, but when he's pitching, then he doesn't hit. You have a designated hitter for him so that he can just concentrate on the pitching, which seems a little strange, but it definitely works out. And talk about that decision to just let him concentrate on the pitching when he's out there on the mound.
Yeah, we have had in the past where we've tried to have guys that were dual positions. If they pitch, they can hit. We've done it a couple times with Austin early in his career, but it just seems that he's more focused pitching if he's only doing that. We used to do it with Tony Mueller back in the day, and then we had Ross Hellenbrand was a first baseman, 2 left-handed pitcher that we did that. But it always seems that both of them suffered a little bit when they were trying to pitch and then hit in the game. So what we do is once we get closer to the end of the year, we've been doing more of the DHing for them. But the NCAA says you can DH for the pitcher only. So in that situation, we DH for all the other pitchers. So it's just a common, normal thing to do.
Okay. Let's move on then to Sioux Falls this past weekend. The doubleheader day, you lost 6-4 games on Saturday, both of them 6-4. Tell us a little bit about those 2 contests.
Yeah, we just didn't play well. We came out the first game, and first inning, we gave up some runs. I think, let me see once here. I got the box score. Yeah, we gave up 2 runs to Sioux Falls. They didn't hit a ball hard. Don't take anything away from them or whatever. They did a good job getting the bat on the ball. We just did make a couple plays, and we got behind the 8 ball. Then we kind of panicked a little bit. We pitched good enough to win those days, but we just didn't hit. We didn't hit at all. We had chances, quite a few chances to get guys in scoring positions and stuff and try to get them in. I don't know if they had left on base. Their box scores don't have that from out there. But, just one of those days nothing went right for us and things went right for Sioux Falls.
Although, you made it a game in game 2. Sioux Falls got up 6-0. I think that was by the 6th inning that they had scored 6 runs,
Yep.
and then you came back and you scored the 4. But as you said, you just couldn't push those other 2 over the plate.
Yeah, we had chances too. We had bases loaded in the last inning. Let's see here. Yeah, with in the 9th. Well, in the 7th, we got 3 runs, and we could have had maybe 4 or 5 because we still left bases loaded. And then in the 9th inning, too, we had good chances there. We just got 1 run across and then had guys in scoring position again. And we just didn't get them in. So I give them credit. Their pitchers at those situations did a good job and made good pitches and got us out.
And then on Sunday, you end up winning 9-6, and it was kind of a difference because you go up really big in that game, and then it was Sioux Falls who tried to come back. But I think you were up 8-0, and then ended up getting that extra run late in the game to kind of stop Sioux Falls and their momentum. Tell us a little bit about that game.
Yeah, that was one where we had Dylan Whitaker throwing, and he cruised through 5 innings. 6th inning, got a little tired, and before we could get a guy up and get him in the bullpen, get him loose and whatever, they got 4 runs. They left the pitch up to their 4-hitter, and he hit a home run on us and stuff. So, but we had control of that game from the beginning, I think, and then we just needed to get another run in the 9th inning to kind of hold it off. But again, we hit better that game. We had I think Nate Loomis had, and it doesn't say in the box score, but he had an inside the park home run there, which was exciting. He hit the ball off the wall in right center, and it took a bad bounce away from their player. And Nate, being one of our fastest guy, he circled the bases and slid head first and home. So that was an exciting. I think that was like in the 6th inning, and gave us another run there at that point. But we did a good job holding on that one, and we had again Mitch Miller and Peter Taviti did a good job. And Justin Furpo, who's a midweek starter for us, he came in through, gave us 2/3 of an inning. We had him just on a pitch count because he's got to throw out tomorrow. So, but then Peter had to come in and get the last out. So we were okay. Nick Carroll wasn't available for us this weekend. Just trying to get him healthy. So
go back to Nate Loomis. Not only did he have that inside the Parker, 3 for 5 at the plate in that game, so he was a big part of your offense.
Yeah, it's always funny, and but we were talking about maybe making a switch because he had struggled the day before a little bit, and thought, well, hey, we'll see what he does for a couple at bats, and then because we got some young guys and stuff that have been playing a little bit, and all of a sudden he goes out and he gets 3 hits for us and whatever. So hey, sometimes it's just better to leave it alone. Okay. Especially with the seniors, they'll usually make their adjustments and get there, and they'll have a good day.
Excellent, very good. All right, again, if you want to plug your ears, we'll talk a little bit about the standings here. Winona State is currently 6th in the NSIC. Top 8 teams go to the playoffs, and you might wonder, if you've been watching the show all season long, well, what's with all this fluctuation about where all the teams are? It's not necessarily your record or wins, but it's percentage that determines where you are. So a team that maybe doesn't have a whole lot of wins or hasn't played a whole lot of games, look at Minnesota Crookston at 17-6, St. Cloud State at 17-8. Those are teams that are ahead of you in the standings. What's your thought on using percentage as the determining factor of who goes into the playoffs?
Well, basically we have to, because our schedule is based off of a 38-game schedule for the league. But it is determined because if you have a midweek bye, you will play a 36-game schedule because you're missing 2 games. If you have a weekend bye, you're missing 3 games, so you're 35. So we had a weekend bye, so our teams are playing either 36 or 35. Mm-hmm. So not everybody's playing. We're not all playing 36 games, or we're not all playing 35. So that's why the winning percentage comes into play. So it is what it is, and we all know it. We all knew it ahead of time coming in, and the coaches all know that, because when we get into the putting the pencil to the paper and figuring out the schedules, we knew we can't make a schedule where everybody's playing the exact amount of games. It just doesn't happen. And with our geography and our time frame, we have to do it. We can't get it done. So we're always going to have that little bit of unbalance. But hopefully, if everybody plays their games, it's only a difference of one game. You're either playing 36 or 35. So the winning percentage is the best way to figure that out.
All right. I knew that was kind of a controversy during basketball season, and that's why I brought it up for baseball season. So you're at 600 right now. Mary is right behind you, and then there's a battle at 8-9 between Sioux Falls and Northern State that have identical winning percentages. So this is a very important weekend, not only for them, but for you as well. You start out this week Wednesday against Concordia St. Paul, and then you host Minnesota State Mankato for 3 games this weekend. Tell us a little bit about how you match up against Concordia St. Paul and how important these games are this week.
Well, they're going to be important for us. The interesting part is Concordia is out of it, so we don't know what they're going to come out with. They played yesterday against Mankato, and we were supposed to play them Thursday because of COVID restrictions, but somehow they got that fixed, so we're back to the Wednesday original schedule. Then Wednesday, the weekend with Mankato is big. So these are 2 important ones tomorrow with Concordia. The interesting thing is when our league went to 8 teams into the conference tournament, it always seems the last week is very important for about 5 teams. We got 3 teams that are probably sitting at top, sitting in a pretty good position, and then there's usually 5 to 6 teams that are battling for those final spots, and we could be anywhere in there. So and hopefully we play well and we stay where we are and get a little bit higher, and we don't lose any ground, which I think right now mathematically we're pretty much sure being in the top 8, but we'd like to be closer to the top 4 if we can.
Yeah, like you said, you could be anywhere in that top 8. So how does that determine maybe some decisions you make against Concordia, knowing that you only have a couple of games left in the back end, 3 games this weekend against Minnesota State? Does that play at all, or do you just do the 1 game at a time?
Well, we're going to play 1 game at a time, and our usual midweek is Bailey. And actually, Bailey's been our number 1 guy all year long, so we're going to go with him on first game tomorrow, and then that sets him up for the conference tournament next week. So he'll be on regular rest going to the conference tournament next week to throw game 1. That's the tentative plan now. And then Justin Furpo's been our other guy since Kyle Gendron went down, so we'll stay there. And then the weekend, we're going to roll out our pitchers in the same way we've been doing them. And that sets us up for the next weekend, the conference tournament, wherever we're at. So, so we're not going to change any of that.
All right. Final minute or so left in the segment. How does that determine whether you pinch hit for somebody or you try to get somebody some at-bats kind of leading into conference tournament play? Is there anybody that you want to, maybe get a little bit more experience before you head to the playoffs?
Well, we're going to play it the way we've been playing all year. The guys know their roles at this time. They know what their role is and when we might need them. Guys, we know pinch run, pinch hit. We got a couple guys that are still a little banged up, so if we have to get them out early of games and get them some rest and make sure, depending on scores, we'll do that. But like I tell them all, make sure you're in the game, you stay focused. You never know when you're going to be needed, and when you're getting the game, it's your chance to produce. I think Bill Belichick and some of the guys, I'm always about next man up. That's why you don't carry just 9 position guys and 6 pitchers. You carry a whole team. So something happens, and if you're working hard and you get a chance, who knows?
All right. We appreciate the time this week, and good luck against Concordia and against Minnesota State.
All right. Thanks a lot.